The FGT Racing Rig by Next Level Racing. The rig that can apparently do it all. But can it? Let's get into the video. One of the first things you know about this rig is how small the frame is in comparison to other rigs, because its width is only 20.5 inches or 52 centimeters, being that a very small footprint, as its length as well is only 1.4 meters or 55 inches for you Americans out there. Where would I place this rig in the marketplace of sim racing? Well, it's definitely an entry level rig, that is for sure. Now, why do I say this? Well, for the simple fact, this is great for beginners. It's not going over the £500 mark, but being the fact that you can pick this up for £320, because that's how much I got it for, is a great basis to start your sim racing career if you don't want to race off a desk. I've been using this rig now for about a year and 2 months. Nothing has broken or come loose. The F1 seating position, though, I could not get used to. I used this for 2 weeks and had to change it, and after I set it to the GT position, as this is called the FGT, I never looked back. There's just not enough support underneath your legs because of how you have to position the pedals for me personally. One thing that everyone looks for when it comes to upgrading to a different rig or buying one is the flex. So how does this compare, or how is the flex on the wheelbase and the pedals? Well, I'd say, like I said, it's entry level and there is flex, unfortunately. When I had it in the F1 position mode, it flexed even with the Thrustmaster pedals that are not load cell based. So you can imagine once I upgraded to the CSL Elite how much it flexed in that position. I changed the position as much as I could to get rid of the flex, and found that only using the base that comes with it and fixing the pedal plate to that, and then having to put coasters underneath so it stopped any flex, was the only way to stop this issue. Other than that, you'd have to change the rig or upgrade to 8020 aluminium rig, or the Next Level Racing's upgrade from this version. What about the wheelbase then? How does that compare? Well, unfortunately this does have flex in it, being that there's only 2 supports and nothing attached. Probably if you had 4 supports there wouldn't be that much flex, but there is definitely quite a bit of movement in the wheel. Obviously you don't notice this when you're racing, but you definitely do feel it when you're testing the wheel out. How hard is it then to put this rig together? Well, it is very heavy. When I got it delivered, I could not believe how heavy it was, which possibly I should not be surprised with, being the fact that it is all metal. But just be wary when you are putting it together, say if you're doing it on a wooden floor, because I managed to damage my floor putting it together, which was not good. It also took me quite a long time to put it together because of how awkward it was trying to piece this together on my own. Now let's move on to the comfort, about the seat. Now this seat is quite a thin construction, but I've used this in 2-hour endurance races and not had too much of an issue. But definitely if you sit in this seat for long periods of time, you will start to feel uncomfortable, being that there is limited padding underneath, but it does feel pretty nice. I would say when you have it in the GT position, the way the seat is set up, because it's used for F1 style as well, being the fact that it is at an angle, this can get annoying at times, so just something to note. The seat also does wobble because it's on runners, but it's something you won't feel while in use, so nothing to be alarmed about, but it is odd that it does move. When it comes to adjustments as well, the feet do have thread on them, so you can adjust it to the floor level if your floor is not very level, but they're not very long, so just keep this in mind. In conclusion then, should you buy this rig if you're looking into it? If you're just getting into sim racing and you do have a budget, or a small budget, but you still want to buy a rig, This is a good place to start, especially if you're just starting off with, say, the G27 or G29 or the Thrustmaster gear. But as soon as you start to go higher end with the Fanatec higher torque motors, it starts to get a bit finicky, and as soon as you go to a load cell, I'd say you're going to get slightly annoyed that everything starts to flex. Well, I hope this has helped you make a decision over this rig for getting it or not, as I've been very nitpicky as much as I possibly can to tell you everything you might run into, as these are the problems that I've run into using this rig for a year and 2 months. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, if you could hit that like button and subscribe, I'd very much appreciate that, as I'm just starting out. But this is Billy Goat Boy signing out. See you guys on the track.